Hi, and welcome to Community Coffee. I'm your host, Trina Myers, aka the Zebra Queen. Thank you for joining us today, and I have an amazing guest. I have, and I'm probably going to say your name wrong. It's Quantessia, correct?
No, that's right. That's absolutely correct.
All right. So I'm so happy that I was able to
Yeah.
pronounce it correctly. So you are the current Mrs. Georgia Global Continental. And we actually met last year during the national competition where you represented the state of Alabama. We have something in common where we have a dual states.
Yes.
I was raised in the military. My dad was in the Air Force, so I've traveled all over and luckily do have opportunities in different states. And
Mhm.
you're originally from Alabama, though. Is that correct?
Yes. I'm originally from Notasulga, Alabama.
Oh goodness. Now, where is that?
Yeah. So I get that a lot because it is a very small town located between Tuskegee, Alabama and Auburn, Alabama. So when I
Okay.
say Tuskegee or Auburn, people are like, okay, I know where that is. And
Yes, I've actually been to both of those places.
See, I was just about to say, and I bet you've probably been to both. And we have this sign that says Tuskegee, Notasulga that nobody ever, like off of the interstate, that nobody ever pays attention to.
That's
That is in
so
Tuskegee.
funny. Yeah, I've actually lived in Alabama as well. I went to high school in Lower Alabama in Ozark. And
Oh no,
yeah, from LA, I always say for
love
Lower
it.
Alabama. Yeah, yeah.
Oh, I went to school in Troy, and I went to school in
Oh,
Dothan as well. The Troy University in Dothan, and I went to the
yes,
Troy University in
yes.
Troy. So I stayed
Oh
there for
my
about
goodness.
6, 7 years. Yeah.
Wow, who knows? And we could have crossed paths and never even knew it.
Absolutely. I was a teacher, a daycare teacher or a Head Start teacher in Ozark. So
Oh,
I know exactly.
wow. We
Yeah.
probably have some common friends.
Oh,
Oh,
that's
we
cool to
talk
know.
about a small world.
Hmm.
One thing that I love about community coffee is that it is organic and, we just kind of go with the flow. And this is something that we had not talked about
At
prior.
all. And
So,
you helped nurse me back to health in nationals and everything, and we just didn't get a chance to talk about it.
no, I know our lives are just all over the place and really crazy. And talking about that, now you have a fascinating career and you've had some really sleek, um, what is it, car talk, or can you tell me a little bit about that? Because I loved seeing those social media posts that you created.
Yes, so I am a realtor here in Atlanta, Georgia, and I actually just switched brokerages to Watson Realty Co. So my point of making those posts and those fun videos is not only to like educate the general public about home buying or home selling, but I want it to be fun because that's who I am. So I like to make those videos because they're fun, but also educational.
They were definitely fun. Like when I first saw it, I thought I was watching like a commercial on
Yeah.
TV.
Yes, that's what I want you to feel. I want you to feel like, oh, this is fun, but I did learn something, at the end of it.
Sure, sure. Well, you'll have to put the links to that video or put the video in the comments
Yes.
later so that people can understand what I'm talking about because you're going to be blown away. And what was the name of it? What was the name of this campaign that you created?
So I do Tuesday tips with Tess mainly. I try to stay consistent with Tuesday tips with Tess, but not only do I do that, I do some other just pop in, pop out videos over the course of the weeks. But I like to do Tuesday tips with Tess because they're the most fun.
Wonderful. So, what has been your most favorite tip that you've shared so far?
Well, I think, and this is just because of the type of market that we're in, the housing market. The favorite one would be literally the one I did this week, and that was geared towards sellers. So It's a hot market for sellers. Everybody wants to buy a home, but there's just not enough inventory. So sellers are doing some crazy things. They're just like, oh, let me just sell this home on my own because I know that it's going to sell. So basically, the tip was, hey, get you an agent because if you don't understand the contract, yes, you can sell the house, but how did you sell the home? What did you give up by doing that on your own? Because most of the time, 30%, um, 30, you can get 30% more for the sale of your home when you go with a real estate agent because we know what we're doing. We know how to
Right,
price.
right. You're the expert.
Yes.
I sold my home a year ago, and oh my gosh, there was so much that, I was so appreciative of my realtor who handled so many different aspects. And you're absolutely right. You all do
Hmm.
a lot behind the scenes
Yes.
to get the house ready, but also, like you said, those contracts, those are not fun.
Those are not fun. Those are difficult. And the terminology, it's just like you're reading, if you're not a medical professional and you're reading medical journals or you're reading something related to that profession, you don't know what that really says. So that's why you ask your doctor, what does this mean? Or then you Google it. But even if you Google it, you don't go and perform a procedure on yourself, do you? So it's
Right,
the same with
absolutely.
it's the same with real estate. Yes, you can read and Google it, but you wouldn't perform that action on your own. But I don't know why, but that's our profession and people think they can do it.
Sure. Well, you brought up a good point, and I think a lot of people just don't think of it in that
That way.
mindset.
Hmm.
Yeah, so that's a great point. So, what are some of the things that you're doing in your community?
So I am the founder of God's Work Incorporated. That is my nonprofit. And not only that, that is my platform. So we focus on five initiatives. That's family, community, health, youth, and we do homelessness. So I try to venture in one of those aspects every month. So I try to feed the homeless every single month, different meals. Health wise, I actually just did a live with you the other week. But what we're doing is we're just basically putting out that information of different health issues and health concerns monthly so that people can be aware. And also, we give them the opportunity to ask questions to someone who's actually experienced it as well. So that's what the lives are for. Youth community, we do everything. Okay, we do everything, everything. School supplies, because we did a back to school drive last year with a church. We actually collaborated with the church and we had some kids come out to the park. It was so much fun. I got myself out there and played kickball with 15, 13, 10-year-old children, but it was a good
Wow.
time. Yes, it was a
I don't think
good
I'd be able to walk for a few days afterwards if I were out there
time.
doing that.
I was so sore. It was ridiculous. My kid, so my at the time my kid was one, and of course he's just running around. So not only am I playing, I'm running after him. He's running after me. Like it was the whole thing.
Oh my goodness.
It was
I
the
bet
whole
that was
thing.
entertaining just to watch.
Yes, it was a whole thing, but nonetheless, I spoke there as well. So I did some speaking, and we did the back to school drive. We gave them backpacks and a bag full of supplies that they could use for the new school year. But we also had some fun. So that's what we do.
That's awesome. Oh, that is such, it gives such a warm heart feeling, to know that you're able to give back to your community. So, is there any upcoming type of drives or events that you have going on that maybe the community would like to get involved?
Absolutely. So always, and when I say always, you can always donate any either monetary or clothes. We always are taking clothes. But specifically coming up is prom season. So my office, actually my brokerage, in Atlanta, we are taking donations for prom dresses. So pageant queens who aren't using their dresses and you're not trying to resell them, or if it's just something, anything will help. Please donate that to us. It's posted on my social media. I already posted it. So go and see how you can help us with that prom drive.
And that because this is a nonprofit, so then
Hmm.
that could be a tax write-off for the
Hmm.
individuals who donate their dresses to you.
Absolutely.
And I know those dresses can be pretty expensive.
Oh my goodness, you know, and I know better than anybody, especially continuously competing in these pageants. These dresses are expensive.
Yeah.
So
So
please help
it's
us.
a really great tax opportunity for anybody who's considering making a contribution, or,
Yes.
maybe a department store is getting rid
Mhm.
of, the previous season, or,
Mhm.
whatever it may be. That's a great opportunity for them to also
Yeah.
give back to the community, but it can be a great write off for them as well.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And so please go, please see what I posted. I think I posted it on Wednesday, where you can donate those prom dresses. And if you ever want to donate monetary or clothing, just DM me. I have a page for God's Work on Facebook. So if you want to go like in inboxes there, that's fine. But yeah, we are doing things every month
And I
consistently.
will put all of Tessa's contact information in the
Mm.
comments later on in the day, just so that you know how to reach her, or if you want to make a donation or contribution to her nonprofit, you'll know how to do so.
Thank you.
So, you had mentioned a little bit when you were talking about the kickball, you have a little one.
I do. I
So tell us
do.
a little bit about your family life, because you are a Mrs. an MRS, which is one of the 8 divisions in the Global Continental pageant system. So tell us a little bit about your family.
So I am married with a 2-year-old now. I said at the time he was one, now he's two. And I have three doggies. So so that is my family makeup.
Wow, that's a
Yes.
handful.
More, oh my goodness, more than a handful, like two handfuls.
So what kind of dogs do you have?
We have Maltese. So they're little bitty things.
Oh,
Yes, they're little
okay.
bitty things, but they are our family.
Sure. And they're probably like little nanny dogs to your
Oh
2-year-old.
yeah. Okay, so everybody loves the parents, right? Me and my husband. The dogs, they just don't really pay attention to my kid, Trey J, and he doesn't really pay a lot of attention to them. It's really weird because I thought that
Okay.
they would love and want to be on him, but they're just like,
Right.
I want you instead. So they're just kind of like looking at each other most of the time.
They keep each
Yes.
other company.
Yes, they're kind of just like, I don't know about this.
Sure. Well, I tend to be that magnet that the animals come to, and want my attention, so I completely understand.
And that's them. Like they want all the attention, and then he wants all the attention. So they're just like, I don't know about you. They keep their eyes on each other.
Sure.
It's like I'm gonna keep my eyes on you.
Oh, that's so sweet. So, as a married uh, contestant, coming up, you have your national competition that's going to be in Orlando, June 1st through the 6th, which is really exciting. What would be a tip that you could give other married women who might be interested in competing?
Do it. Then let me tell you something. I decided when I moved here in 2018. And I immediately got here and I was like, I want to do a pageant. But I had no idea there were pageants for Mrs. because I was married at the
Yeah.
time. So I'm like, I want to do a pageant, but can I? Because I'm a Mrs. So I did my research. I went and when I say I Googled everything. And that's when I found the Mrs. United States pageant. That's the first one that I did. That's my first state pageant ever. And Lucretia was the director there. So my first experience was with Lucretia in Mrs. United States, and I did it. I won first place. It was crazy because I never competed in a state pageant, something as large as this. So it was exciting. I was really happy about it, but the fear, there was fear first because I knew I wanted to do a pageant. I was like, I want to do a state pageant. I want to do a pageant. But am I good enough? I haven't done this before. I really don't know what I'm doing. So I did have that fear, but once I got over that with my husband's help, because he was like, "Hey, you can figure it out." So he immediately started training me in the gym. And it's
Wow.
yeah, he did. He did a really good job too. Like that was one of the like I was in the best shape of my life. Not knowing that I actually was pregnant. Yeah,
Oh, wow.
I was actually pregnant. The pageant was March 2019. And I was pregnant. I was pregnant. I had my baby in December 2019, but I didn't know. I didn't know it, but I was in the best shape of my life. But I did have, reservations about it, but my tip is do it. And if you need some help, reach out to somebody. Usually, I mean, pageant girls, all of the ones that I've encountered during my pageant career have been the most helpful people. They don't mind helping. So I would say reach out to someone if you just aren't sure what to do. Literally go on Instagram, find somebody and reach out. And most of them are absolutely fine with doing it. And I had a coach the first year too. Lindsay Shockey was my
Hmm.
coach, and she did a good job. Like we rocked it. So I was excited about it. So
Yeah.
do it. That's me.
Yeah.
That's my advice. Do it.
There's definitely a lot of resources. And, my first time ever competing in a pageant, I was also a married contestant. And America, I was actually competing for Mrs. Iowa America, was my first state pageant with Tracy Christ, who now is in Texas and several other southern states. And then I did United States as well. So we have that sisterhood, pageant sisterhood going there. But
In common.
I know. I would have to say though, a lot of I've heard negative things about pageantry over and over again. I mean, my first year competing was in 98. So I've been doing this for a long time. But I have to say that out of all of the years, I rarely have run into any type of negativity that came from another contestant. Most of the
Mhm.
time we were all there to help each other
Good.
out. And so I think that there is a different experience for a married contestant or an MS or an older division. I think the older we get, the more wiser we are, and we just don't, we don't mess with that drama. So, you know, with that mindset, you know, what could you also offer to somebody who's maybe never competed before, because you mentioned the imposter syndrome, that, oh, can
Yes.
I do this? And just to tell somebody just do it, maybe a little bit harder than they that you might think.
Hmm.
So having a coach is definitely
Yes.
helpful. I could say that I can really tell a difference in my
Absolutely.
competition by having a coach. Um, you mentioned your husband doing some personal training with you.
Hmm.
What are some other things that you think could help encourage somebody who's never competed before?
I think that ultimately, and I had to learn this too. And honestly, I just learned it. Even after I had my coach, even after my husband personal trained me, it's really a mindset, right? Um, you have to know why you're doing it, and you have to actually have a why. And I know it's fun, and I know it's cute, and I know, and it's just so exciting to do. But when you have your why, you compete better.
Yes.
And I know that from experience because at first I was like, I just want to do a pageant. Like, this is going to be fun. This is going to be great.
Right. Right.
Um, But then it's like, why are you competing?
Yeah, because
So
you do
I
get
now I
asked
know
that
my,
question.
yes,
I,
you
I, I,
literally get.
I have been asked that question time and time again. And,
Mm-hmm.
like you said, when I first competed, I just competed because my mom never let
Because
me
it's
compete as a kid. And I wanted to. It sounded like fun. Like, yeah, you're right.
fun.
And so
But when
I
you,
was picking platforms, just, oh, this sounds
yes, just
cool.
snatching
Oh,
them
I
off of
think
the
that'll
tree.
work. Yeah. And it wasn't until my platform actually chose me and it's my
Mhm.
daily life. So you're absolutely right.
It's
Knowing your
beautiful.
why.
Knowing your why. And that comes with self awareness, I believe. And it comes with you really knowing yourself. So, and I still know that, people do pageants for different reasons, but when you
Sure.
do know that why and you're in tune with it, you perform better. And that's what I had to learn over the times, because I did my first pageant, I won first runner up. I did the second one, I won first runner up. I did the third one, I won first runner up. But then when I really sat down and was like, why are you doing this? Are you going to keep going back? Or, what is your why? And when I realized what that was, I won. I won. And now I feel like I can continuously compete because I know exactly why I'm doing this. And I know that this is something that I want to do long term. I love pageantry, love it.
I do too. It's about uplifting other women
Yes,
and the sisterhood and just, there's so many skills. I mean,
yes, to
it's led
learn.
to my career,
Hmm.
the skills that I've gained through pageantry.
Yes, it's helpful. And I believe that, like today's International Pageant Day. Oh, I should say that. Can you edit this?
No, it's all good. It was
But
actually
well,
on Friday.
okay, yes. International Pageant Day on Friday. But I posted something, and what I said was like, there are some amazing women in this world, in this community. And when you go and you actually do your research about what these women are doing, those are my people. Like, these are my people. I want to make that type of impact. And that is why I'm here. They are doing amazing things that I, dream to do. Even though I am doing great things, but I want to do even more great things. And it's
Right.
just inspiring. It is
Well,
really motivating.
you hear all the time to center yourself around other like-minded individuals.
Yes.
And I mean, there's doctors, there's lawyers, there's judges, educators. I mean, there's such a vast of
Vast.
different backgrounds,
Hmm.
So of course, yes, you want to be where the educated individuals are. You want to
Yes.
be around the people that are trying to make a difference in their community. Why would you
Absolutely.
not?
Why would you not? Like, why would you not?
Yeah,
And even though you can do that without pageantry, but bringing the, like you said, the sisterhood into it, of what you get from competing. And of course, I feel like the stage is where it's where my home is. So I feel so comfortable on stage. So if you're someone, like me, that feels so comfortable on stage, I would say, like I was telling you earlier, do it. Try it. If the fear is what's holding you back and you know your why, try it.
absolutely. I know that with the national competition coming up in June, I believe there's still some state titles still available. So if one of our viewers is watching this and still interested, they can go to Global Continental's Facebook or their website and register. And you can either put myself or Test down as your referral, and that lets them know that you heard about it right here on Community Coffee.
Absolutely. Come join us, guys. I promise you, the pageant system is amazing.
Yeah, so Krisha does a really good, top notch
Yeah.
experience.
Top notch.
Yes. Well, is there any last things that you would like to share with us or that you hadn't mentioned yet?
I don't think so. I wanted to cover the grounds of how important pageantry is to me, and not only to me, to the community. So I think that we got that across, and I'm happy. I'm just happy that you had me here. Happy to be here.
Absolutely. Thank you so much for making some time for us today. And we look forward to you joining us back on Community Coffee. It's on Sundays in the morning. And if you can't watch us live, watch us on the replay, hashtag replay to let us know that you have seen the show. And then I will have it uploaded later on podcast, whether it's Spotify, Apple, wherever you like to listen to your podcast, so you can listen to us on the go as well. Well, thank you all for joining, and you all have a wonderful rest of your day.
Good night.